Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The drifters, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2806. Along with Steve the Throw Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the men's room. On tap today, welcome friends to day 2 of Weed Week. As Ryan Castle's in Drunken Charge is into sit and spin with 10 musicians who were busted with the weed. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorites, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack, drinking and drunk.
All right, here we go to Illinois, where a man asking to sell 5,000 chickens is freaking people out. If you live in Bellevue, there is an 18-year-old underwear sniffer who is roaming about. Florida woman tells cops she smokes drugs from a tire gauge she stashes where the sun doesn't shine. Southwest jet makes emergency landing, and all the passengers are actually not doing fine. And a Pennsylvania teacher is set to lose job after making hungry kids whole grain pancakes, of all things. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room. Men's Room.
Men's room. Bow. Let's go.
All right, listen. Let's just get to it.
Weed Week.
Raccoons. I want you to think about raccoons. Most people would agree that raccoons make bad pets. That's actually why people don't have pet raccoons. Well, most people. A woman in Indiana, she has a pet raccoon, and she recently discovered that raccoons don't handle marijuana very well. We'll share her very stupid story coming up. Now, we'll also share the story of the Texas Medical Research Facility. They learned that if you give 4 baboons one 55-gallon drum, they'll escape from your medical research facility. Now, on the other hand, if you can't train animals, it's absolutely something like a dog. Take dog named Flynn. Flynn is a golden retriever, and Flynn is a guide dog. Now, that's great, but they actually taught him one amazing trick. He can sniff out a Whopper.
Oh, no. What?
No, I'm not making this up.
I can too.
Burger King released a video.
I can do that.
They have a 3-minute video of this dog. Yeah. They took the time to train it to sniff out a Whopper. I don't know what to tell you. That's what they chose to do. And then we have a terrible story to share of another dog that was kind of trained to be a guard dog coming out of Germany. But here's the thing. Animals, whether it's a pet, you're at the zoo, maybe you're in the park and you're watching a squirrel eat a Cheeto out of someone's hand. Every once in a while, an animal will amaze you. So today's question is this. When did an animal amaze you?
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999. Ola, you can like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitchola. You have entered the men's room.
Hola, bitcholas, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2806. What a large and charge program we have for you today, as it is day 2 of Weed Week. Ryan Castle, the Drunk in Charge, is coming in to sit and spin. And today we get 10 musicians who were busted with the weed. Yes, there have been many more back in the day. I mean, my God, you could go back and, hell, if you went any time before 1980, just about every musician was busted on a bus, but maybe they didn't get busted. Maybe it was the roadie stuff.
Is that about the cutoff on this?
No, it's basically just 10 of the more notable musicians who are actually caught with marijuana on the person, some trying to get on an airplane, some in a foreign country, which got them in a lot of trouble.
Do any of them surprise us? I have not seen the list.
You know, I think a couple on there. At the time when you realize what people are up to, I think it's just not what you expect. You know, I'll give you one example. All right. David Lee Roth,
All right.
David Lee Roth is, he's one of those guys that, man, you'd think that he would be able to get marijuana anywhere in the world because he was the singer for Van Halen. Surely he's got to know somebody. So there was a point in time where David Lee Roth was training to be, not making this up, a professional EMT.
Yeah.
And he was doing it in New York City.
Right.
All right. So he was actually going to school to be an EMT. And in the meantime, he needed some weed. So he went to Central Park. And he started asking people where he could get some weed. This is David Lee Roth in New York. I just assumed he'd know someone. Maybe he doesn't in the biggest city in the world, which probably has the most pot. He gets busted in a park trying to purchase said weed.
Right.
That surprised me because I would just assume this is David Lee Roth. It's New York City, a city with everything.
Right. But that doesn't surprise me because he's also the kind of guy who it might just occur to him when he's in the park, he wants to buy some weed. He's if Steven Tyler got busted for the same thing, I would think he should know a guy, but I also would not be surprised if someone like Steven Tyler or David Lee Roth
I just was surprised
buying weed.
At how it went down.
I'm surprised
circumstantially.
Right. How long ago was it?
Oh, God, probably, 15 years ago? I don't, you know what it was? It was when he was, about the same point in time, he was trying to do radio, and when Howard went to satellite radio, David Lee Roth was actually the morning show in New York and on a lot of those CBS stations that used to have Howard on. So it was Adam Carolla on the West Coast. It was David Lee Roth attempting to do the same thing then, and it was around that time, and man, you know how fast time goes by, so I can't remember, 13 years, 14 years, somewhere in there. It's probably about right.
That's when he got busted?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was around that time that he was in New York City.
What surprises me, I would think...
if you're in radio, you should be able to get weed.
But I would think that he would get busted for cocaine. To be honest with you, the thing that's... If there's a surprise to me in that story, I would not think it's weed. Yep. I would have thought it was coke.
Maybe it's the next day. He's coming down.
Could be.
10 musicians who were busted with weed coming up with Ryan Castle as we'll sit and spin. Ask the men's room's coming up. Of course, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day and another round of Profile This. And today we're going to talk about animals as we have animals in the news for you. And this first story shouldn't be too surprising, but it's still pretty entertaining. And it comes our way from Burger King and BKU. But this time we're talking about the English version of Burger King, which is probably pretty well the same. The delicious flame broiled burgers that you know, the fish sandwich, which is fantastic. But on April the 12th, Burger King's England branch released a video of YouTube of a guide dog being successfully trained to smell out flame grilled Whoppers for his visually impaired owner.
Come on, man.
What's wrong with this?
That just doesn't seem that hard.
It's not?
Like, I mean, you drive by a Burger King, it's like a Whopper.
And the dog goes crazy, and this is great, and now you got to go get a Whopper.
Right.
I do respect this dude, though. He needs a seeing-eye dog, and he's like, train it to find me Whoppers.
British hockey player Nathan Tree describes his golden retriever Flynn as his best friend who saves my life every day. Traveling often for his career on the ice, Tree was inspired to teach his pup to sniff out specifically Burger King Whoppers, his go-to food. When you travel, it's hard to find something to eat. I didn't really know if it was possible. I just thought it was a cool idea, he jokes in the 3-minute clip, Whopper Dog. Fortunately for the pair, dog trainers in the video say, it's pretty incredibly easy to teach a dog to detect the scent of flame-grilled beef. After 15 days of training, Flynn is successfully able to identify the flame-grilled Whopper in a blind scent test with another burger and fish and chips. So, basically...
So he can tell right. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Yes.
Don't you think you could do the same thing?
Probably. Trotting his owner through the City of Lights, you see there in the YouTube video, Flynn successfully leads Tree to a Burger King, where he is praised as a good boy for his quick thinking. Whopper Dog. Hashtag Whopper Dog, if you're wanting to see any of that.
You said that's in England, right?
Yeah.
Is it that hard to find a fish and chip shop?
Well, you can, sure.
No, he wants Burger King specific.
Right.
Burger King's fish and chips.
They put fish and chips out. They put a burger from another place, and they put a Whopper beside it.
And he can figure it out.
He can smell the difference. Correct.
I was like, if you can't find a chip shop in England.
But don't you think you could do the same thing? As a human being, I put down fish and chip sandwich, a Burger King burger, and then pick a burger.
I'll tell you what, I could smell the difference between a Five Guy hamburger, a Whopper, and a Big Mac. I bet you $100. I could smell out the difference. And my nose doesn't even work.
I wouldn't bet against you.
I mean, I'm telling you can smell a Whopper because it's flame broiled. I can smell a griddled sandwich, which is what Five Guys is. Easy. I don't know how McDonald's makes their stuff, but if it doesn't have much of a smell and I can kind of smell the bun, I know that's where it's going. I could do this. I could do this all day.
I could do that one.
I could do.
How deep could you get?
I could get real freaking deep, man. I could do Arby's roast beef.
Sure.
I could do. You know what? It would be tough, like in the world of between the Wendy's and the Checkers.
Okay.
And there's a couple more.
But
like
are you
that.
familiar with the smell of Checkers? I mean, go with the places you know.
I know
man.
it's a flat pan grill, so I know what that beef's going to smell like. Pretty sure I got that down. You know.
But what if they're both cooked on a flat pan grill?
So are Five Guys, but I think that's what I'm saying. Like, you get into a realm there's going to be a couple Wendy's, Five Guys,
right.
Checkers that are going to be kind of close. But I think if it's like Wendy's, Burger King,
There's a lot of people right now going, "What the hell's a Checkers?"
Burger King is distinct, man. You know what I mean? Like you
Sure.
smell, even with the In-N-Out burger, I definitely can smell that if you're West Coast then. You know, like I know I can smell a hamburger. I don't think I can do the same with pizza. But I definitely could do
I mean,
with
look,
hamburgers.
if it's
We
only
need to
Burger,
do this.
if it's only
No, we
Burger
need to
King,
do
a
this.
restaurant, and fish and chips, I trust you.
Yeah.
But if you're talking multiple fast food burgers, I think that gets a little bit tougher.
I got
Are you
this.
sure, man?
I've got this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you open it up, I got
McDonald's,
this.
Burger King, and
Anyone, Wendy's, Five Guys, I got that
And
easy.
Five
If
Guys.
you put three in front of me, I got it.
all right. I would not bet against you on that.
Anything else, I think I could do. I bet I could get 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't read. No, I'm sorry. A comment came in that I cannot share on the air.
What is it? Oh my God! All right.
Yeah.
We move on here.
No.
Firefighters at Wayne Township Station 82 opened the door early Friday morning to a one-of-a-kind request for help. We go to Indianapolis. A frantic woman is distressed because her pet raccoon was stoned off too much weed.
Weed Week.
Does that surprise? Let me put it this way. If you have a pet raccoon, I'm not surprised that one of its stories is that it got stoned.
The raccoon, according to Wayne Township Fire Department Captain Michael Pruitt, had been exposed to too much of someone else's marijuana, and its owners were worried it was ODing. Not knowing what to do, they brought it to Station 82. The raccoon was very lethargic, according to Pruitt. The raccoon. She started explaining what had happened. There wasn't really much we could do. It was just the sort of thing that was going to take some time to wear off. Recordings of the district radio chatter show that the animal had officers baffled as well, at first simply over what substance the raccoon was in fact high on. Apparently, they have a pet raccoon, and it got into their meth. An unidentified officer is logged saying at 3:57. A minute later, dispatchers try to clarify. Sir, Speedway doesn't have anything, but fire did call across the hall and say that it was a raccoon that overdosed on someone's heroin. 30 seconds later, a Southwest District officer radios in that he is sitting at the firehouse and sees no sign of a raccoon in distress. I'm at the firehouse. He's not ODing here. Well, if they show up, you can Narcan him. Way too weird. Officer 1 says, I'm leaving. 10-4. They were going to Narcan a raccoon. Ultimately, Pruitt said the raccoon's owner took the animal home to sleep off its high. We hope that everything worked out for the raccoon. We'd be sad to hear that it didn't. Who knew that you could have a pet raccoon?
Can you have a pet raccoon, or did they walk in there and say, hey, this is our pet raccoon?
I'm not sure.
You follow what I'm saying?
I think they made it a pet.
Right. So I
mean,
don't
it's
think...
like if you have an alpaca.
What?
They're not.
No. I don't
Come
feel
again,
like it
come
is.
again, come again.
Someone who has an alpaca, I feel like went through the proper channels to get their alpaca. Someone who has a pet raccoon.
Just grabbed one.
Yeah, but an alpaca
Right.
doesn't live in your house.
No, they stay outside. I'm just saying it's like having a pet, but they're not like super friendly to humans.
Sure.
They're not mean. They're not
it's-
llamas.
Right, but it's understood.
So llamas are
but
nice.
you bought
No,
it for that reason.
alpacas are just a little skittish.
You
they're
didn't
skittish.
buy a raccoon. You did not
Yeah,
spend
you
money.
think you just captured one and
Yes,
made
the
him a pet?
Yes.
Raccoon will hang out with you like on the shoulder. I've actually held a raccoon before.
Why? Where?
In Mexico, yeah. Yeah, tons of them. They bring them in for the clinics for the animals.
What clinic? Oh, animal clinic. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
what,
like they-
what
they-
medical
they're
clinic
pet-
is like bringing the raccoons.
Kids bring them in as pets, and you can hold them. They're fine. They're not, they're not crazy. They're
Well, everything I've
and
been
they're
told
really
is
skinny-
stay
they're
the hell
skinny.
away from them.
Well, it depends on if they're domesticated or not. These were domesticated.
You
so-
said they were skinny, though.
It's crazy.
Have
though,
you
man.
seen a skinny
They got
raccoon
these
in
big-
America?
They got these big
No.
ass claws, man. I mean,
Right.
big ass claws. Well, no, they're dumpster divers here.
I know they have big ass claws. They're a wild animal.
Right, exactly. It's
I
crazy.
mean, they're a wild animal.
Sure.
Right?
It's insane. I can't believe they have them as pets.
Like,
It's nuts.
do porcupines have sharp claws? They don't need it. I'm not saying they
Well,
don't, but
that's
do
for
they?
attack purposes.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what's crazy these
But a
days
raccoon-
is the ability to be able to watch what goes on in your house. Robin, I know that you have a dog cam specifically, so you can see the shenanigans, and every once in a while you'll be sitting there and go like, and they've escaped.
Yes, basically. Okay. Yep, and they're free today.
So what do you do? What are your tactics?
You just hope that you get home and that the trash is not ripped into 500 pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. I have pretty good trust that they're going to just lay around in a different area, but,
My wife has a little camera that she puts on Chewy, and Chewy will move chairs around and then jump up on the counter.
It was impressive. We watched the beagle push the chair.
These dogs
up to the counter and then climbed right up like a circus animal. It was amazing.
This is, you want to talk about a smart animal. This is a smart animal right here. A German woman identified only as Lazine K. bought a Staffordshire Terrier named Chico 8 weeks ago. Chico. Before her ex-husband, who had attacked her with an axe and left her wheelchair-ridden, was released from prison. Again.
Wow.
Again. A German woman bought a terrier named Chico 8 years ago before her ex-husband, who had attacked her with an axe and left her wheelchair-ridden, was released from prison. She told neighbors she got the dog because she was afraid for her and her 4 children's lives. But Chico, well, he might have been a little bit more than the family could handle. Last Tuesday, the 52-year-old Lazine and son Lurden were found dead after having been attacked by Chico in their home. The dog was due to be put down, but may have its life spared after an outcry led to protests and more than 264,000 people signing a petition calling for the dog to get a second chance because authorities should have removed it from the family's home years ago. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Wait, people signed a petition
to keep the dog alive after the dog killed 2 family members.
I'm not following.
Yeah, I'm not either. Wow. When did an animal amaze you? That is amazing. 844-999-OLA.
I don't know if I'd use the word amazing.
That is amazing.
It's amazing. It ate the people.
It is. That is amazing. I'm sorry. It's like Baxter and a Wheel of Cheese. Like, I know it's not cool, but it's still amazing.
But it was impressive that he ate that wheel of cheese.
It's also amazing.
I don't know if I'm amazed or impressed that this dog took on this family.
He killed a 52-year-old and a 27-year-old guy.
That's insane.
That is insane. It's amazing.
It is insane.
It's amazing.
Insane is a good word.
Insane is a better word, but it is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola! Mike, turn your radio down.
It is. I thought it was down.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, sorry about all that.
No problem.
So I've got 2.
All right.
Okay, so
there he is.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry. I had you synced on my phone here. I had to go to speaker. Okay, so anyway, I lived in San Diego. I had a golden lab. We had a built-in pool, and I'm throwing the tennis ball because labs love to swim. I'm throwing the tennis ball back and forth into the pool. Dog's getting the ball, right? So I had a rock that was sitting next to the pool, and I was going to kick it into the yard, and I ended up kicking it into the pool and went into the bottom of the 8-foot end of the pool. My dog thought that was a ball, dove all the way to the bottom of the pool, 8 feet deep, and brought that rock back to me.
Golly. That is amazing.
Yeah, and so from then on out, I thought, I wonder if that's just a fluke or not. So then I kept doing it, and this dog would continuously
She wouldn't die. Jeez, man.
It never got like It never got like an ear infection or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, this dog had ear infections all the time.
Well, I bet it did.
Well, it lived in the pool, and it wasn't because of that. The dog just swam in the pool 24/7. It loved the water.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so the second one, when I was 9 years old, I had a husky, and she got pregnant, and we lived backed up to a dairy farm.
Oh.
And there was a creek that ran through the dairy farm that split the 2 pastures. We'd go back there and we'd make little tinfoil boats and float them down the creek, right? Well, I had on this big puppy jacket, and she came up to me, obviously knowing she was going to give birth, and she was my dog from day one, and she grabbed a hold of this jacket and dragged me almost 2 acres back to our house to let me know I needed to be there when she had her puppy.
You gonna deliver my baby, Mike?
She didn't.
She was ghetto.
So basically,
you done playing.
She made you just follow her back. So she
didn't make me follow her back. She got a hold of my jacket with her mouth and dragged me almost 2 acres. I'm like, "What are you doing, dog?" And she was 120 pounds, and I was probably 40 pounds, and she just dragged me. I mean, all the way through the field, all the way back to our house. to the fence. And
did you birth her puppies?
Did she drop? Did she drop? And it sounds like you were married or something. Did she drop?
I know, it's crazy.
Deliver my babies, Mike.
And how much longer from that time did she give birth to her litter?
Like 10 minutes. I mean, she dragged me to the fence, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I saw her run into her doghouse. I'm like, "Something's going on." So I ran up into the doghouse, stood up next to it, and I'm looking in there, and bam, she started delivering puppies.
Yeah, that sounds about par for the course.
All right, now
it's like when the water breaks.
Let me just ask you a question, man. You said that at some point during the time, your property bordered a dairy farm. You had a built-in pool. You had a golden retriever. She actually had a doghouse. Like, where did you grow up? It sounds like you grew up on a comic strip.
So my golden lab, that was in California, in San Diego. When I was little, I grew up in Puyallup.
Oh, all right, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, that is amazing. I
thought labs could only be yellow.
No, black labs,
chocolate lab. He kept calling it a golden lab. I'm just saying, I thought they were yellow.
Maybe there's a difference. I don't know. Is there a difference? I bet you we find out.
Sure.
Yeah, right? I mean, I know there's different colors, though. I've just never heard anybody have a golden one. That's only retriever, sure. When did an animal amaze you? 844-999-OLA. Think about it, Thrill.
Well, did he say golden lab or did he say yellow lab? Did he say
golden lab?
Golden
right?
lab.
There's golden retrievers, yellow labs.
I don't know. I really don't.
Huh. All right.
I just
Weed Week.
Guess who it is? James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. When I was almost 10, I was 9 at the time. We lived out in the country, out in Independence, Missouri, and I ran around in the woods with my dog that was about a year and a half old. He's a purebred collie, and he was mine because when my dad brought him home, he dumped him out of the box and he ran straight into my lap.
Okay, like Lassie.
Like Lassie. Full-bred collie, was missing the tip of his tail. It was a white tip tail supposed to be, and it got chopped off when he was like half a month old or something.
Okay.
But so
they have a big tail.
Well, no, it was like the last 3 inches of it whenever he's full grown.
Okay.
So I mean, and he had a foot long tail, so it didn't matter, 1.5 foot long tail. But I decided one day to run down in the woods and run around and play and do my thing, and he went with me everywhere. And he protected me from the bigger animals that got stupid, like the raccoons and possums and stuff that I ran into. And if I couldn't handle them. So I decided to shoot down this creek. He ran off after something, and he was up above me when I was down in the creek. And he come over, and he's whining up there. And I want to be near my dog, and I want my dog near me, so I decided to climb straight up this cliff that's about 20 foot tall. I make it about 15, 16 feet off the ground. My feet were, and I fell off of it, grabbed a hold of the wrong chunk of rock, and it pulled out, and I fell, landed flat on my back. He somehow got down in the creek and stayed with me until my family found me at about sometime in the early morning hours, or late morning hours.
That's Lassie. That's amazing.
Or it went down there and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it didn't work."
When did an animal amaze you? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Texas Biomedical Research Institute officials are making changes to their enclosure after not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 baboons briefly escaped from the facility on Saturday. The animal care team determined the baboons rolled a 55-gallon barrel upright near a wall of their open-air enclosure. Then they climbed it, which allowed them to escape. The enclosure was built nearly 40 years ago, according to a news release from the facility. 3 baboons were recovered within 30 minutes. Officials initially thought a 4th remained on the loose, but after completing a head count of all the animals, determined it had returned to the enclosure almost immediately.
Okay.
which is pretty impressive. The barrel was put in the enclosure because the animal team deemed it an enrichment tool that helped baboons mimic foraging behavior, according to the release. After the escape, the staff then removed the barrel and will determine if any modifications can be made. This was truly a unique act, according to Lisa Cruz. We've been caring for research baboons for more than 50 years. We have nearly 1,100 baboons on the property that date back 8 generations. The Research Institute houses more than 2,500 animals. Scientists conduct research on the animals to help develop new vaccines and medicines. You don't want to know.
Yeah, that's why
basically, you just don't want to know.
That's why the baboons are trying to leave.
When did an animal amaze you? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jay. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. How are you, Jay?
I'm all right.
Okay. When did an animal amaze you?
Oh, well, first, I got to say that baboon story, that freaks me out.
Well, I think it would freak anybody out to be walking down the middle of the street and there's a baboon there. Yeah, that would.
But is anyone really that surprised that if you gave a baboon a barrel, right, and all they needed was some extra height to escape, like the first thing they would do is what they did? Like, of course that's what they're going to do.
We were talking about that in the office earlier. There's a video from the zoo in D.C. of a gorilla who had just given birth to a baby, like holding the
plug
baby.
Plug your ears, Mike. You'll hate this story.
Kissing the baby, caressing the baby, and Ted Hugh's like, yeah, no kidding.
Right, like it's us.
It's like a few taking care of a child like anything else in the way. Yeah.
So when I was in the first grade, about 1977, I'm dating myself here, but my dad was in the logging business, and he fell a tree that had a nest, for lack of a better term, of raccoons, and only one survived, and it was like a little size of a kitten, and he brought it home, and we raised it from infancy, and like a cat or a dog.
So you had a raccoon in your house at all times?
Yeah, we took it on, I think, if I remember correctly, we loaded it up in the station wagon and took it down to Disneyland.
What?
On vacation. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you gotta realize this freaks.
What?
I know this is normal to you because as a kid, and we've talked about this many times.
No, that's not normal.
You only know what you know, but surely enough other people had to go, oh my God, you were the family with the raccoon, right?
Oh, yeah, we checked it into the hotel and stuff, but when it got old, it got older and stuff.
What?
Oh, it's crazy.
They let you check in a raccoon?
Yeah, it was just like a regular pet, I guess.
No, it's not. But did it like waddle into the, Econo Lodge, lobby with you and, you know what I mean, then walk down the hall after you paid the pet deposit?
I don't remember. It was
probably a Ramada Inn back then.
But they knew that your pet was a raccoon. They were aware of that.
I don't know if they did or not. I don't know what my parents told them.
Okay. And did the raccoon sleep with you? Do you never remember it biting you? None of that stuff, right?
Oh, we played with it like a cat. It had all its shots and stuff. So it would.
It had all its shots.
Jeez, that was a pet.
I'll be damned, Jay. That's
anyway,
great.
when it got older, we had to get rid of it, and so we took it up to this game farm up in Swim, and his name was Lucky, and he ended up becoming. They put him on the Grizzly.
The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.